four of you and a semi-built droid are in 2 land speeders and a swoop. In the lead land speeder is Dax and a droid heading presumably north, or are you going to take like a long route around town? You need to get from the furthest point south of this city to the furthest point north, and there is a sort of circular highway, I guess, that you could follow, and a main road up and kind of crisscrosses.
Right, I think I would just use my knowledge as someone who's driven speeders around town in this area and just go whatever route I think would be the safest.
Safest would be a longer route around the outside, because you'd assume they would be pulling in the center of town and then heading south down that main street. So in the AV-21s, Dax and a droid kind of pull away from the industrial area at the south of town and onto this kind of huge sort of ring road that goes around the outskirts of the city of Gia. Darkness, Umbara, just nothing but darkness and glittering stars. The road itself is raised enough that you can see over the city, and most of the buildings are built with something called white steel. It's just steel, but it's almost always a white or a light grey, and a lot of the buildings are domed with glass ceilings, so it makes for quite a stunning sight by night and from this angle, and you can see lots of commotion, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's anything other than a busy city. In the land speeder behind yours is Hop with Rugo driving, and behind that a swoop bike with Nuada on it. I'm going to go around and see what everyone is thinking and feeling in this moment. It's you're not out of the woods and you're heading to try and basically boost a ship and get off planet, which is one of the most dangerous things you can do, especially when you're somewhat aware of there's at least a cruiser of some sort in the sitting outside of the planet somewhere, waiting in low orbit, which is not always
is that assumed or is that known?
It's somewhat known because I think Nuada knew.
Okay.
So I'm just going to assume she casually passed that information on.
Sure.
I mean, there was a Commodore here as well, and it's very likely he at least has his own large-scale ship, a frigate of some sort, or a cruiser or something like that. Probably not his own fleet, but you don't know. What is Dax thinking? What's going through your mind?
I think on the surface, his most of his consciousness is thinking about how to get through this as safely as possible. He is planning the route. He's thinking about what we're going to do when we get there, how we're going to get into the spaceport, what type of ship is the best for us to take, and how he's going to deal with any obstacles that might be in the way. But underneath that is an incredible amount of fear and frustration.
That's nice to hear. Roll me just a force die. Dark side. You know what fear leads to, right?
Anger.
Yeah. Take a conflict. Rolled a dark force pip. At the back on a swoop, a speeder bike, following everybody, Nuada. What is going through your mind?
I think I feel the same. actually.
Yeah. During
I'm-
your training, your master would have had us potentially, well, in fact, would definitely have had a different take on this situation than Dax's. How were you trained for something like this, if at all?
My training is very much when I see an opportunity, I take it. And to be open, I think, to recognizing a door when it's wide open. So the fact that we have to come back to the port we just left is frustrating to me because I feel like we were right there. I think logically I understand, or will probably, maybe not right now, but I will understand that both plans are kind of equally risky. But right now, I feel the frustration of a lack of trust between Dax and the rest of the crew, and particularly me and Dax, because since we got here, I've just trusted everything he said. I've never questioned it until after the fact. So if he tells me to do something, I just trust and do it because I know that sometimes time is of the essence. But anytime we do that to him back, he will not reciprocate. He's always like, why? And he never just trusts that we know what we're talking about too, in certain situations. So I'm feeling that frustration, I think. And I think I'm also not understanding why I feel so frustrated by it, because I think normally I would let something like that roll off my back. If he doesn't trust me, okay, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. But I think being stranded here has really left me feeling lost, obviously, but I think this feeling I keep getting of something really scary coming to get us is making me easily more agitated by the fact that he doesn't trust me. Because if something does come and there is a situation where I need to say, you know, go left instead of go right, I don't need him questioning me for 5 minutes and then somebody ends up dead, because we don't have that kind of time. So I think it's just building and stressing me out, and I'm scared. Absolutely, I'm scared of whatever's coming.
Okay, roll me a plain old force die.
Mm-hmm. Hold. I have
And
to get to
this,
the combat screen because
just
I
to
never
remind-
imagine that it's in combat.
Remind everybody is a little homebrew
side.
thing.
So
we
conflict?
do. Take a conflict and then roll me
Mhm.
a foresee ability.
Dark side as well.
That fear, as you willingly lean into it, grips you again, and an icy cold stone in the pit of your stomach it's instinctual, like you're being hunted, like something is coming that is chasing you. You maybe glance over your shoulder on the swoop as you just naturally feel like you should look backwards. There's something awful headed towards you for sure, and you'll have to take another conflict.
Okay.
Hop in the land speeder with Rugo. What What are you thinking or feeling?
I don't think Hop is feeling very much on purpose. What he's doing right now is he looks like he's sleeping. Like he's looking very aloof, but in his mind, he's trying to think of every single planet, outer rim, whatever that would be safe. He's trying to think of multiple different plans, like a backup of a backup, to make sure that at least he, if not everyone else, gets off planet with minimal attention. He also has this pecking in the back of his brain that's wondering, he assumes of the Padawan status, but he doesn't know that, so he's wondering, have they gotten lightsabers yet? Have they lost it? Like, what's going on with that? Like, there's just all these questions around this group that's just also kind of interfering with his usual planning.
Yeah. You can roll me a D100, please.
Sure thing. 10.
10. A thing that would concern you, you have a little more experience over the last 6 months of what's been going on in the galaxy with the new Galactic Empire and the speed at which they've been able to just clamp down on so many planets all the way out to the outer rim, and all of every planet that comes to your mind that you're thinking of potentially going to or suggesting or taking them to, or all of them come with a downside, a huge one. And as you're racking your brain, you well, I'm not going to give you any extra help. Believe it or not, a 10 isn't good. This isn't Kingmakers. Also, there are lots of places that are particularly dangerous for you alone. And that sense of being wanted not just by the Empire, but by several groups is also potentially an issue. Rugo, driving, piloting this land speeder. Anything going through Rugo's mind? And also, how did your master potentially prepare you for this, if at all? Dax was specifically not asked this question because this is Dax's training, in a way, somewhat. Whereas you and Nuada had different masters, different positions, and you were preparing for different roles somewhat than Dax's more specific role.
Rugo, I think, in this moment is he's uncertain about what's ahead, which is mostly obvious. But I think when it comes to feeling about this uncertainty, he's more. It's like he's more quiet in this moment. I think I think his feeling is more calm than one would expect, or at least Hop would expect from knowing and maybe seeing Rugo acting thus far. But I think as Hop sort of rides along inside this speeder alongside Rugo driving, there is a sense of confidence that is also riding alongside Hop in this speeder. And I think that is because Master Aranthos had many lessons in, of course, keeping calm in high-pressure situations. There has been many times during training where that was needed. There is going to be the unknown of what will happen in battle, but the only thing that you can control in combat is what you are feeling. You may get shot, you may get hit, you may be thrown against blast doors or whatever, but you are still the one who can control what you are feeling. And if you need to suppress the pain to get through the battle or the fight, then do it and utilize the various training and meditative breathing exercises to get you through the moment, because that is what you can control. And I think that is where at least Rugo is in right now, is he may not know what is coming. He knows that we are potentially, we're heading back towards the, at least Rugo is following Dax. He's not entirely sure what we are doing, but he wants to know, he wants the droid to be there, and he wants his friends to be there and to be safe, and he is going to do what he can to make sure that that happens. And if that is, we're going to drive all three of these vehicles off the cliff and into a Dunia mine, then so be it. But Rugo will follow in this sort of procession to wherever we are heading. But he will do it because he knows that that's what his duty is. Right now, his duty is to get from A to B. And the best way to do that is safe and to make sure that people are safe doing it. That is, I think, deep down what is happening. But there is a surface thought that keeps bubbling up when he tries to go into this sort of rhythmical breathing that I think is probably what Hop would start to pick up on. That there is a bit of this. Rugo's breathing has changed, I think, since starting to drive in this speeder, and then I think he sort of turns over to Hop, or turns and looks at Hop, probably the first time saying anything, and says, "I need to make a call. You mind just being a bit quiet for a moment?"
Who are you calling at a time like this? This is probably the worst thing you could do. Everyone would be listening. You got a secure comm.
Right. Can you secure a comm?
I got one that goes one way, and I'm afraid she might try to give us up to whoever has the top dollar, if I'm being honest.
Right.
And holding on to it in case of emergency, because if we can't secure a ship, might need to risk that. But who are you calling?
My boss, Platib. I tell him I can't make it in. And that'll be away for a while. Right? You think that's probably what's going to happen.
You're worried about your job at a time like this?
Well, it's not the job, it's how he feels about it.
You're probably never going to see Platib again.
Right, I know. That's why I would want to say bye, at least. Right?
You can trust this Platib.
Of course. He gave me a job. And
I give a lot of people a job. Don't mean they can trust me. And I've gotten a lot of jobs myself. Don't mean I can trust the employers.
Right, all right. Never mind.
I mean,
No,
how much longer are we going to stay on here? You got to call him. You got to call him. I ain't your dad. I'm not going to slap it out of your hand, but I just know it's a
all
bad
right, then just be
idea.
quiet for a moment, please. As I'm going to send out a call to Platib, I think over either plug in my comms to the voice handless communications of the I don't know what the hell that thing's called.
Yep.
The internal comms of the speeder.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it is what it is.
Thank you. The Siri pod.
Yeah, the Siri pod.
Thank you. Yeah, I just open up a.
Lottie.
There's a moment as the comm connects. Before the call answers, I need a couple of rolls. One,
Cute.
just a force die.
Which is in just the regular old 4C fun
Regular
times.
old force die.
And that is down here.
This is a spell win roll, basically.
Yep.
You still have difficulties, but ignore those. The two light side
Oh yeah.
die.
I do have difficulties. No, I have to re-roll it. That's the rules.
No, you don't have to. Now roll me
No, I
a
have to.
discipline check.
Perfect. A discipline.
With 3 difficulty, but you have a boost.
Boost is blue. 3 purples.
Okay. And that's 1 success on the discipline check. The last thing, so you're
wait,
just making
hold
a
on.
call. Are you trying to encrypt this at all, or do you have any ability to do so, or is this just comm to comm?
This is comms to comm.
Okay.
I was going to get it encrypted, but then I think as Hop said, he only has one that goes one way, and then he also said, "You do what you want. I'm not gonna." And I was like, "All right," and then I just did. So he did it probably unencrypted. I'm going to use that black force die to heal a strain.
Yeah.
And take a conflict.
You can do that. On the other end of the call here, you get the response of the Ithorian. Ithorians are those creatures that look like, kind of like their head looks like the front of a snail, but they have legs and arms. They don't speak. They have like 2 mouths on the sides of their heads, so they don't really speak initially in basic, but there is an immediate translation device that goes off. So you hear like a but you get the translator that simply follows up with,
Yes. Who is it? It's me. Oh, Rugo. Yes, I did wonder if I was going to hear from you tonight. We actually just got in a shipment. That droid you are working on, weren't you looking for parts?
Looks over at Hop.
Yes. Didn't you need a vocabulator of some sort? It turns out that I don't anymore. Everything seems to be... yes, we've got a broken piece here, actually, and I thought I could teach you how to solder some of the parts to get it working again. It would be a good lesson for you to learn. If you're not busy, you could stop by tonight or tomorrow morning early. Right. Well, I don't know if I will be able to make it tonight. Yes, well, if you're busy, that's fine. It will take us a little while. Plus, I'll have to teach you as I have been doing so with the parts, of course. Yes, no, you're young, of course. You head out and you have fun with your friends, and tomorrow I'll see if we've got some spare time in the day.
It's not that. I don't think I'll be able to. I won't be able to. I just won't. I'll see what I can do, but I may not be available to do that, Platy. Is it something you could tell me over comms? How to do the ordering of the vocabulator?
Oh, no, I'd have to show you all the parts, and it would be very difficult to explain. You'd have to have another unit in front of you, of course. No, I think it'd be much easier. I'll show you. We can make some time before or
I'm
after
not sure if I'll be able to
shift
make it to my next shift, or for a while. I maybe.
Oh no, you're sick.
Just thank you.
There is something going around. I don't.
Yes, I'm
I
sick.
don't think it's something that I'll be
I'm
too
hold on
worried
one
about
moment.
catching, of
What?
course.
Hurry! If you don't end this call right now, I will end
Yes,
it for
no, I
you.
don't think I'll catch anything. Of
All right,
course. I mean,
thank you,
you're feeling
And then I
unwell,
just
you
go into
should
hang
just-
up.
Yeah.
And then I think Hop would snatch it out of Rugo's hand and then
What?
line it up with his blaster. And then just like goes all over the place.
There's the sound.
What?
Well, you called the only. That was your last call. It was the only person you wanted to call. You got it off your chest. Now you don't have to worry about it. And now if they
Okay.
track us, they'll track us to this moment here, this point here, and we will hopefully be long gone.
All right. Okay. I just thought. All right, but I don't know how to sort.
You also took too long.
I don't know how to sort a vocabulator. That's going to be useful.
You think that's the only person or thing in the entire galaxy that knows how to do
you're
that?
Right. You're right.
I can appreciate a close relationship with a mentor, but come on. You gotta speak up every once in a while. You gotta learn to be a little more assertive based on the, 15 seconds that I've all known you. Been very quiet,
I could be assertive.
can you?
Yes.
I've seen you be assertive once, when that was with me.
What about right now?
Again,
Is this assertive?
With me, a stranger. There's a difference between being assertive with a stranger than with your friends, family, loved ones.
Right.
You gotta stick up for yourself, Rugo. That's all I'm saying. And then Hop kind of just like leans back again into a seat.
Rugo, Dax, and Nuada, you guys need to make me planetary piloting checks at a difficulty of 1. Wait, no. Difficulty of 2 because you're in sports cars.
Cool.
What about me on the bike?
Yours is difficulty 1, yes.
Difficulty 1, no boost. Let me click away.
Just doing it in order, right? In case somebody gets a...
Yeah, well, you can't really help each other.
Oh, okay.
We're all in separate cars. Wow, just a bunch of fails there. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yep.
I think I got a success. It says ability success on the dice.
Yeah, but it got cancelled out by the
I got cancelled
failure.
out.
On the purple dice at the bottom, there's the little triangle.
Ah,
with the
okay.
failure. So it's just nothing, but it isn't a success.
Is it an advantage? Oh no, the threat cancels
No,
it out
yeah,
completely.
yeah,
Okay.
The threat.
So
and
it's
the,
nothing. It's literally nothing. Okay.
Yeah, it's
cool.
a nothing.
But we do have an advantage from Dax.
You got
but
one,
that's still not a success.
Advantage from Dax. And what I'm going to say, Dax, is that advantage can be used to pilot the most effective route to the place. But you are not making good time. Not that there's like a time limit necessarily, but it's just taking you a while to navigate around. There's probably other traffic. It's not like these roads would be empty. There there's you're going the correct route. You don't get lost or anything, but trying to make sure that you get these two followers to stick with you, and Rugo not being quite as adept at piloting one of these land speeders, especially something like this. This is like being a teenager and then just being handed the keys to a Ferrari. It's risky to take off, and you're like moving in and out of traffic, and you could probably make really good time, but maybe it's becoming more of a struggle to make sure you stay as a convoy. And that
This will keep cutting me off.
right
and I can't quite
is
get back to things.
actually going to allow some of these guys. So what that means on my side of things is that the people that are hunting you
not being
are very aware that you're no longer where you are, and are going to be calculating where you're going and what you're up to based
Cool.
on this.
Based solely off of the drive checks and not me not encrypting that comms chat.
Correct, yes. You just made a
Perfect.
phone call to someone. No one's listening to a phone calls.
Perfect.
How
You
can they
said it.
monitor everyone in
Okay.
a city's phone calls? It's madness. No, they know vaguely which direction you're going. The Commodore was... Commodore Roll was knocked out and not killed outright. And he informed the next in command. And Yep, okay. After some time, you are able to make it to the area where the spaceport is, depending on what your plan is to approach. Do you have one? I guess Dax, you're in the lead. What's the plan of approach towards the spaceport? In general, there is huge areas where you can leave land speeders, like parking areas, just like an airport would be. There are central main entrances for the public, and then there are the cargo entrances to several different sections. Again, the spaceport itself is like a huge horseshoe in shape, very circular, with each of the different spaceports with these domed tops. My dog is dying somewhere, I think. For some reason he's sneezing. And it's extremely distracting. There are these huge domed sections, but there are ways in, and you guys still have that rear entrance into the cargo hallways that you could use. But I guess, what is the plan? Imagine that you're approaching an airport.
Right, I think I would want to go around back again, but maybe a different entrance back there than the one we already used.
Okay. Yeah, roll me a force die.
Right.
See if the force is with you. Not at all. You get close to this area and you now recognize the place is crawling. There are militiamen.
But he rolled with 2 difficulty. Is it a 2 difficulty roll?
There is no difficulty. The difficulty
All
is
right,
irrelevant. You just added
re-roll
for
it.
no
Reroll
point.
it.
No, this is the only one it
What do you
doesn't
mean
count
no?
on, because that one is easily ignored because it's just the force part that we need. When we re-roll the other ones, it's
okay.
important because there's no other way of calculating
Well, you're breaking our rule.
it. Well,
It's our one homebrew rule.
all right, fine, re-roll it.
Yes!
It's gonna be the same thing. I don't think it could
I was
possibly
fine
be
with
worse,
the roll,
but
but I will.
Yeah, the place is crawling. The troopers, the clone troopers, and the Umbaran militiamen seem to have locked this place down. Getting in wouldn't be impossible, but your initial thought of going in through the rear entrances seems like it's going to be very difficult to do, since they actually have troopers moving around the outskirts of this place now.
A couple of things. Would I know how far away the next spaceport is, and would I know if it's? What would I know about it?
The next nearest city to you here is a city called Yat, and it has the second largest site of Dunium here. So it's probably
got a lot of
even
material.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
To go to one of the other cities that you're looking at, just an absurdly long drive cross country, incredibly
But
dangerous,
I
and
know
you've not
that
been
the
there.
front entrance to a spaceport is going to have security. Clearly.
I mean, they've got security on the outside. They're gonna have security on the entrance as well. Yeah.
Dax, what's the plan? We're passing Terminal Kranesh right now.
So the entirety of the back of the spaceport is covered with troopers, or is there like?
No, you see maybe two walk past the first entrance you use. You direct everybody to follow you further along. You guys move out further towards where the jungled area is, towards where that initial entrance was that you went to. You see two Umbaran militiamen moving through the area. There's just little pockets of resistance everywhere. Not impossible to, not like a full squad or anything like that, but there is a few of them. You alone would easily be able to sneak past them. You'd probably quite easily be able to overwhelm them in terms of if you just rushed up and shot them, stunned them, whatever. But it's how sloppily you do that could obviously lead to a much more dangerous situation. But yeah, each of the entrances here, the smaller entrances, the cargo entrances, the side bay entrances, are all guarded by at least 2 guards.
Then I'm just gonna lead us around as best I can to a spot overlooking one of the entrances. Hopefully without parking too close to any patrols, and that's where we'll stop, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah. Right at the back?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of jungle here that you can use to your advantage. The jungle here is dangerous. A lot of the plants are like alive. Think giant Venus flytraps with tentacles and stuff like that.
Oh, sorry.
But this close to the city, you would assume that it wouldn't be quite so much of a threat. But there is jungle that you could move through for cover. There's a single entrance into the cargo hallways of the spaceport. And there are 2 Umbaran militiamen there.
I would like to, I'd like to use a light side point to remember that I had actually, right before we left, I'd noticed that there was a little wheelie thing, like, 2-wheeled, or maybe a hover lift or something, like really small that I could put the droid on. Can I
Put the what on?
do that? The droid on.
Chassis.
Oh, the droid? Yeah, you can have had something like that. Like one of those like little handheld fork truck things, but like pallet ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
Something to move the droid easily.
It would have been in the
I'll
warehouse.
stretch
We can say you brought it from
Right.
there.
Okay. All right. So I assume everyone parks their speeders and speeder bike next to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gather everyone up, and I say, this doesn't look good, but I really think the best way in is through the rear, because we're going to run into security no matter what entrance we go through. At least this way, we're not in front of a bunch of people. So we're going to have to find a way to get past these two, and quietly if we can do.
What about droids?
What?
Will we be? You said we'd be in front of a lot of people, but would we be in front of a lot of droids?
I don't know, maybe. Why?
I'm better at talking with droids. That's all. If we need to.
Right, I'll keep that in mind.
I could speak binary.
Right. Thank you, Ruger. I say we just try to stun both of these and go in. I don't think we can talk our way through. I think they probably have our descriptions, or at least some of our descriptions.
Right.
I think we have to go fast.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's start moving through the jungle then, and stay as quiet as we can so we can get in position.
We'll take this.
Rugo, do you want to take the droid?
Yeah, I'm gonna, as sort of you say that, I'm already sort of swam your hands off of the skiff thing, and I'll take the shopping cart.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone give me stealth checks at 2 difficulty.
Cool.
Love it.
Why are all the cool skills not on the ebb and flow list?
Dax with 2 successes. Hop with 1 success.
2 of these.
Any advantages? I forget if we can add bonuses or anything. We can add
You
a
have
bonus
an
die with an
ability
advantage,
boost.
right?
Can I give them a boost since I'm going through first, sort of?
That's what I
They can
meant, yeah.
see where to step. And I was very successful.
I would have been. That's so cool.
You were not successful enough. You'd need the advantages to be able to do that.
Alright.
Well, he has 2 successes and an advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
He needs more.
I have.
Okay.
Who am I
and
missing?
then
Just
help
Nevada.
is- I mean, this makes sense. I've got 2 threat. It canceled my successes, but I'm also carrying the shopping cart, the
Right, yeah.
hover skiff thing with the droid on the back of it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to re-roll mine because I have an advantage.
Okay.
So sorry. Or whatever the blue one is called.
Don't be sorry. Thanks for re-rolling.
Boost. If you always have that boost, you can type 1B into your modifier section and you won't have to
And just
adjust
leave it
that.
there.
I love this, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
So that's really good.
all that this stealth check is actually going to do is affect your initiative rolls.
Hey, you motherfucker!
Right.
All right, sweet, love that. Thank you. I mean,
Okay.
Mother Forcer.
That's right.
That's right.
Those of you with successes, as long as you have 1 success at least, can have a boost to their initiative roll.
Right.
I'm gonna check that I have Umbara Militia, which that's what they look like.
Sick.
They have these kind of
Ooh.
more classic looking space suits on,
Yeah.
which in combat release a bunch of gases that will
That's
enhance
sick.
their combat ability. So you guys are rolling cool. If you have a success on your stealth, you can have a boost added to this in the
For
hopes.
those listening, they sort of look like Buzz Lightyear. Lightyear was skinny, didn't have a jetpack, and also if their helmet was a bit more like a egg shape.
All right.
You're welcome, podcast. I'm doing initiative. Do I have to click on my token
Yes.
first?
Click on.
because
no,
we
you don't have to.
pick.
It just.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Pretty sure you just click it.
And this is vigilance or cool?
Cool.
But I do this every time.
Yeah.
I go to click it and I double click the tab and it just minimizes it instead of hitting the roll button. I don't know why I do that.
And we have a boost for this?
I think you're
Holy
the only one
shit!
that
Lord. She nailed it.
We have a boost for this, or we don't have a boost for
does
this?
it. You, I think, are the only person who doesn't.
Okay, great.
Oh, Nualda didn't get a boost. Didn't put a boost in.
You want to keep that? I'll
Oops.
allow it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't.
It's a broken roll pool. You gotta reroll.
Myths
I
getting
will-
agitated.
I'm getting agitated. I'm gonna break something. All right. And I vanish.
Okay. Now, let me just check.
That is disgusting. Look at all that.
Really? No, we're gonna roll
2, 3, 4, 5 advantages.
these.
Oh, wow. That
One
was a
of
good
them
roll.
rolled so well. Let me just check
You both
something
rolled pretty
about
well.
the.
So bangs are good.
Yeah,
Winged things are good too.
there is I think, more you can do. No, there isn't. Okay. Okay. So, how is it that this guy sees you before you are close enough to immediately
Maybe he hears the
sneakily
skiff
engage
first?
them?
Is it all of us or one of us?
Well, I mean that.
I could also bump into something with the skiff.
These guys end
You
up
know.
getting.
That's why I'm asking if it's all of us. Because if it's one of us, then it, it would change kind of.
Yeah, you tell
what
me.
happens or
The
who
way
fucks
that this
up.
is going to go is that it's going to go NPC, one of you, NPC, then all of you.
Okay.
So this is
Oh, okay. Yeah,
As
bumping
much
into the skiff
as
works
you
for
rolled
me, I
well
think.
by pure chance. They rolled.
No, I just meant for RP reasons. I just wondered
Yeah,
because it
I-
would depend on like who runs into the thing
was just
first
telling
or
you that
whatever.
so
not-
that
Yeah,
you can
for
take it into
RP
account.
reasons and also my shitty stealth check, I rolled
Mhm.
not so great. For wherever the hell that stealth is. There it is. I rolled 2 threats. So yeah, I think I probably
Okay, that
was
makes
like,
sense.
All
Yep.
right, I'll go. And then like we were quiet, but like I may have bumped the skiff into something and maybe that jostled something.
You have the droid parts, right?
Yeah, I have the droid in a skiff. So I mean, and
Right.
I'm like,
Well, I was thinking if you're
I'm-
like trying to
I'm-
carry it, it like makes a clanging sound or something as you like pick it up.
Or like I stop and then I go to adjust something because like maybe it was about to tip and then something falls off the shopping cart. Just it's not a shopping cart, but I'm feeling like it's really reminiscent of stuffing a shopping cart and trying to sneak through the grocery store. Everyone does that. But yeah, as maybe something fell or I bumped into some luggage or something, or a bunch of cargo boxes.
Yeah. Immediately, you hear the one of these
What's my armor? My armor could just be making noise.
Umbaran soldiers immediately respond.
Halt! Who goes there?
He lifts up his blaster and it just aims it directly into the area of the forest where all of you were concealed but are not invisible. And you see his eyes register as he says,
Come out! Each of you with your hands up!
Did this man just quote Shakespeare at us?
I don't know, 1,000 monkeys.
goes there. Sorry.
So does he see each and every one of us, or does he like know we're behind something? Or
He sees us all.
I'm going to
I think
say
that's what
he
we
sees
decided.
you all.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what you were planning on, and also he rolled really well.
Is it our turn, or is he...
I'm
Is
just
he
going to
done with
say,
his turn?
what do you guys do? Are you going to immediately respond and start firing?
I would immediately shoot him.
Okay.
Sorry.
And away we go. Cool. He sees you reach for a gun, and I think he is going to fire off a shot. Let's see here what he has.
I can
Umbara
instinctually go
blaster
to
rifle.
aim or like lift up the barrel towards them, and then he probably fired.
Yeah, he can see you
Hey,
guys.
who's
I'm going to
those
say you're at medium distance from the two of them, and he is going to ADS and fire at you, Dax.
Never ADS.
And this is what is this? Heavy? Yes. So an engage medium is 2 difficulty. And wow, 3 advantages is what happens here. So the rifle, the blaster shot, just whips past you, Dax. But it doesn't hit you. However, he is generating. What did he generate here? 3 advantages. Pretty sure what he can do beyond giving the other one a little something with just that. So I think probably nothing. If there is something retroactively in a second, I'll let you know. It is now one of your turns.
I'd like to go first since I was first out, if that's okay. I'll fire back at the same one who just shot at me.
Okay.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
So my difficulty is also 2. I'm using the stun setting on my Galar 15 blaster carbine.
Yep.
Alright. And here we go.
Wow.
That is a big hit as you try and stun this guy. So 1 success and 2 advantages on him.
3 success.
3 success. And that does what? 9.
So 11 total damage minus a soak.
This guy's stunned. You see him just
Excellent.
fall into a
Nice.
clump of Umbaran on the floor as he passes
I'd
out.
like to use my when my party sees this person fall, I think they are a little inspired, and I'd like to give one of them a boost with my advantages on whoever attacks next.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Great. The next guy here, seeing you do that, he's gonna fire into the darkness here as well, and I'm gonna roll a d4 as he just wildly fires. 1 being Rugo, going clockwise. There you go, Rugo. Here comes a shot in on you, and he has 2 boosts. He fires. Here comes the damage. Here comes the money. That is going to deal 13 damage to you as it hits, minus your soak. Do you have on?
Yeah, I'm wearing my armor.
You're wearing the armor, so that's. What does that do?
I'm just looking through my stuff.
Gives you a
my
defense.
bullshit.
You have 1 defense, do you?
I have.
What did that do for you again?
I have 1 defense on range. Let me
That
take a look at my
means-
armor. Where is my armor? It is in the.
That either means the difficulty goes up, or it means he has a black die. Let me remind myself.
My defense is 0.
Oh, okay.
My soak is 2. No, my defense is 1, but my defense on my clone armor is 0.
But you have it on.
My soak is 2. My cat's knocking over stuff.
Hello, kitty.
Your soak should be more than 2 though, right?
Should be at
Yeah,
least
my
3.
soak totally is 4. Total is 4. So I take 13, so I'm taking 9. I don't have any way to stop the other 9 because I don't have a lightsaber.
Right.
So I will take 9 wounds. Is that correct? Because it is correct.
I'm
You have
noticing
one
now that
defense
everyone's
because I might need to
injured.
re-roll. Your defense rating
I
is...
have add defense.
Okay, that means
I don't
he
know where
has
it's coming
a...
from though. It's just it's at the top
It's
of
from
my
the
list.
clone armor, if you have it on.
Then I have 1 defense.
You either have the clone armor on, which will provide you 1 defense, or you have your modified armor on that you made out of clone armor. If you have
Right,
either
so
of
either
them,
way, I'll have 1.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll
So
have
hang on.
on my sheet. I have 1 for range and 2. This is defense. 1 for range and then 2 for melee.
Okay, he has a black.
I don't know where
die.
that came from. If it was from our training sessions, or if it was left over. But I will gladly say it's from the suit of armor.
Yeah, you got it from the armor that you made.
Sure.
So this is a reroll. Hold on. 3 successes and a threat generated. So
But still the same, right?
it's 12, not 13. And he has Pierce 1. So calculate away. The total damage
Okay.
is 12
So,
minus your soak. 1
Minus
pierce.
my soak, which is 4. 8. You have 1 pierce, so I'm still taking 9.
9. Nothing changed somehow.
Cool. Yep.
Oh,
so
we just didn't
nothing
calculate the
changed.
pierce before.
A flash of light, I think, reflects off of like a glint of Rugo's armor. I think as like a lens flare of red as the blaster bolt hits him, and then I guess if you all hear a thud, or a thud as you look back, and Rugo's on the ground.
Okay. This is the first time someone has been at max wounds. Is that right?
Yes.
Which means
That's
you
correct.
suffer. Time to suffer some critical damage. And I'm
Character
gonna
arc change.
remind myself of how crits work because we haven't done this yet.
I'm going
I've
to go
just
ahead
been
and pin
waiting.
this, Orcish.
Yeah.
Critical injuries.
Thank you.
When you exceed your wound threshold, roll a D100 for me. And this will determine your injuries.
Sorry.
Oh, actually, this might be on the sheet. 1 second. Is there a
Okay.
crit button?
Critical injuries table. Yes. Roll critical. Boom.
Yeah, roll that. There you go.
I rolled a 94. Suffer 1 strength each time you perform an action.
Okay. So, yes. That's what happens
this
to
always?
you. You need to heal the critical damage, and crits will stack. So every time you roll,
This is on my sheet now. That's cool.
yeah. I'll just read what it says, and that's going to be easier than me trying to explain it. The short-term effects of some injuries are temporary and may only disorient or afflict the character for a brief amount of time. Other injuries are more serious and represent some sort of long-term debilitation or impairment. These injuries continue to affect the character until he receives the proper medical treatment to recover from the injury. Regardless, a critical injury remains with the character until it is properly healed. Even if the short-term effect of the critical injury has passed, the status of having a critical injury remains. Each critical injury a character suffers from adds +10 to any subsequent critical injury checks. Essentially, critical injury is cumulative and left untreated. Even a number of relatively minor critical injuries can lead to devastating results. So that's it. This is how crits work in this game. Crits are a different thing entirely. Critical, this sort of damage is how you will eventually die if you die. If a character rolls through multiple untreated critical injuries, you die. That's what it is. So
Cool.
that's how crits work, and it's cool that the sheet does it for us. So there is a D100 table, and you got the one that is suffer 1 strain each time you perform an action.
Which is hilarious because I'm a strain engine.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was
Uh,
unfortunate.
yeah. So when you exceed your wounds, do you pass out? I just want to remind myself. Or is it
Right.
just... I think... You do. Exceeding wound threshold. When a PC suffers wounds greater than his wound threshold, he's knocked out and incapacitated until his wounds are
For the
reduced.
fight.
There you go.
Cool. Yep. I'm out. I'm down. Cool.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm out of the fight, but this.
But you're
stacks-
KO, they can stim pack you.
Yeah, I'm KO'd and whatever. They can get me back up, but
But you still have that
until
critical.
I
Yep.
take time, whatever that may be, to heal this critical. This is the effects that just stay with me.
Correct.
Sweet. It's like in Darkest Dungeon where your character gets afflicted by something.
Pretty much. And there's tons
Sweet,
of it.
love it. Cool. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was his turn. He did generate one threat as well, didn't he? None of my stuff is working for some reason. I'm gonna make him suffer a strain with that threat. And then it is one of your this is his turn.
Me, please. I would like to stim pack Rugo, which
Okay.
I believe would be like movement and then what is it called?
You don't really need to do a movement thing. It's not as specific
Incidental.
as
Incidental.
yeah.
Is it incidental or is it hold on, let me just double check.
It's a maneuver. isn't
Combat
it?
cheat sheet. It's a maneuver, yeah, that's what I meant.
Right. Movement, maneuver, incidental. Not movement, action, bonus action.
Exactly. But
Can't be that.
technically, I think I haven't used my action yet. So I want to make sure that I can do this. Can I stim him and then shoot someone?
Yes.
Cool. Then that's what I would like to do. I will stim him. And
Before,
then
right?
I will.
If you use
Yes.
this one, you've used this pack.
Yeah, she used it.
What
What I
before.
Well, I have multiple packs. What I'd like to do is use a fresh pack on him. So I'll have two
Well,
at
doesn't-
one use each.
Sorry. Point of order, as Meyer would say. It doesn't actually
Mhm.
matter. It's inside of him, he would have a resistance to the drugs. So if he's
it's
used
on
the pack,
the
then it's one
person.
less. It's on the person, not on the
Oh,
pack.
Right.
That
Okay,
makes
cool.
sense because it's a drug.
That's sick.
And I love it. And it's medical.
that is super
All
awesome.
right. So
yeah.
have you
it's
been
not,
stimmed
it's not it
tonight?
running out. It's your body. It's immunity.
Yeah.
Cool.
Makes
You've
a
been
lot
stimmed
more
in the past
sense.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overnight these.
So am I taking my wounds total? Because I spilled over my wound threshold. So does that mean
No, you just go up to your wound.
I just max out at my threshold?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't like go to 14 or whatever. Okay. And then I take
Have
the
you been
5.
stimmed tonight, though?
No,
the question.
I don't think he has.
I stimmed.
You stimmed. Did you stim
stimmed
someone else?
but wasn't stimmed back.
There were 2 stims last. I think I stimmed myself.
In the warehouse?
I'm only gonna. Yeah, because I had like 9 damage or something, and then I healed myself 5, and then I only had 4, and then I took the 9 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
Yep.
4.
This is 4.
I don't remember you
yeah.
stimming in the warehouse. But actually, I think we did it before. I think we said, can we have stimmed in between while we were waiting? So yeah, that's right.
Mhm,
Yep.
Yeah, I shot because I was shot at,
mhm.
Right.
and remember being like, "Hold on, I don't take so much damage." Unlike right now. All right, cool, sweet, thank you. I am.
Cool.
I'm up, my eyes, awake or whatever, and you can finish your turn. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll allow it. I'll allow you to finish it.
Yeah. If you're making your attack as well, this guy is at medium range, so it's a 2 difficulty
Okay.
on your whatever weapon check. Although,
I don't
do you
know.
have a,
She has.
do you have
She
a
doesn't have a
ranged
ranged
weapon?
weapon.
I do. I have a light blaster pistol.
That was from the training, I think. I don't
No,
know.
No,
if
she's
you
got
have
it.
those.
She picked one
No,
up. She picked
we
one up.
Did you buy one?
No,
picked one
we
up from
picked one
the-
up off
the guards
from the
last time.
trooper.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That is not
I
a
don't think I
light
did.
blaster
I think she
pistol.
did.
If you picked it up from a trooper, you
Does
have
have
a DC.
I
15A.
definitely don't remember where I got this, but I have a light blaster pistol and not the carbine. I can switch it to the carbine, but this isn't from training, so I don't know where we got it. But Because you
I
have one
think-
too, right, Rugo?
I had one over my shoulder, but I'm like not really wielding it. I think.
That's not a blast.
Yeah, I think you
pistol,
picked one up too.
That's
Yeah,
not a
from the
blaster
from the
pistol.
blast doors.
I recall you picking them up from the troopers.
Mm-hmm. Whatever the troopers have is what.
Yeah,
we have.
which is not a blaster pistol. It is a. You ready for this?
carbine?
This is what you need to add. Add weapon.
I have one. I can.
DC
Copy it.
15 blaster rifle.
I should
damage.
use two, but I'm probably not gonna use it.
10 critical 3. Range long, skill ranged heavy, condition new, and pierce 1. Oh, there you go.
That thing looks so cool too.
And it's the one that all the clones have in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I also have a blaster too, but that's from training.
You definitely
So
don't have
I'll
a
just-
blaster pistol. If
I
you
know, but
picked it up
I
off
have
the
it on my
Imperial officer,
I have it
you
on my
would've
sheet
done
from
that.
from
Yeah.
training, but I'm not using
Yeah.
it.
That is from the training mission you did,
Thank you.
which was
Got
not
it.
televised.
I
so
deleted mine
nobody-
from the
Yeah.
training mission. That's why I'm confused. But okay.
I don't think you did.
You can minimize them, which is what I was doing. Okay,
Nice.
anyway.
Oh, need
Are you trying to speak?
Who's trying? to-
Orcish?
Orcish, it sounded like he was trying.
I was just gonna say. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say you didn't put difficulty on that.
Oh,
I think it's 2 difficulty at medium range.
He hasn't rolled yet. Has she?
I did roll.
Oh, there it is. I can't see it. I didn't scroll down. 2 difficulty. Yes. 1 fail here. As it whips past this militiaman. You see the gas filling up his sort of astronaut's helmet as a green mist fills the inside of his helmet, and he moves to one side. The blaster ricochets off the wall behind him as he avoids that. With that advantage, you can spend that however you want. There is multiple ways you can spend 1 advantage. You can recover a strain, give someone a blue, and that's gonna notice something.
I will give somebody a blue die. Next person to attack.
Oh, that's right. And she was supposed to have one from me. But we can pass that on maybe to Greg gets 2.
I'll take 2.
Want to do it that way?
Yeah.
Sure.
Take 2. That sounds great.
Sure, I'm fine.
I mean,
with that.
I don't want to take it all, but I got a.
No, it's fine. I
perfect
don't.
weapon.
I would rather not reroll. So it's
I'd
okay.
rather have you
Okay.
use it. That'd be sweet.
Go for it.
Okay.
Also, narratively, it makes sense that you're badass with these. So go for it.
Mhm. Until.
Because you're
some-
secretly using the Force, and we all know it.
Yeah.
I'm on to
If I
you.
was secretly using the
Fucker.
Force, we wouldn't be in this predicament in the first place.
Can I do a
Save that.
Force check on him? Is there any way I can be like sense
Can I
the
force
Force?
check the meta? He just told us.
There is,
Can I
but
force
let's,
check the out of character comment? He just.
there is a way to do that kind of shit
right.
with other Force users, but we'll do it after this, because it's just, yeah,
I can't believe you just said that. Can I stop the comment?
yeah.
Isn't that a Force ability? I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
There is.
actually.
Like
I
a
think-
tree you can go down.
I think you need to be able to sense the Force in somebody else, and I don't
Just
think I
keep
have that
asking
ability
Greg
yet.
out of character questions on camera and just see his reaction.
That's what I do. Don't
Do you
answer
know
any
that I'm a
questions, Greg,
paragon,
until you
or-
see a lawyer.
Brad's my player.
Yeah.
Can you feel my?
All right.
my status?
Yeah.
My
What is Hop doing?
He takes out his blaster and blasts the crap out of the one that's, that we've been
Yeah.
attacking so far.
2 difficulty and 2 boosts you have.
2 difficulty.
You have your hand in the air like
Okay.
it's like you're a duelist, like Han Solo would.
And then it's this one.
And that is a hit as you shoot at this guy. Let's see what sort of damage that is. So 2 successes, so 7. Crit range is 3. So you can tell me how you spend those advantages, and he is gonna take. Let me see his soak. He is hit by this, but he isn't down. As you sort of see him move to one side as Nuada kind of shepherds him one way. Hop pulls out his blaster, fires off the shot, and he hit by this blaster is stumbling, but he's still up. He brings his weapon about, but is that's it. How do you want to spend those advantages? And you potentially have a maneuver as well if you want to do that.
I don't know what I can do with the advantages, to be honest.
In the we have all the if you scroll down on where the character thing is, there's a bunch of handouts down there, and one of them is spending advantages and triumphs. So just reference that.
All right. You mean in the book?
In the little journal
on the
page, yeah.
Okay.
I can do
the journal.
this
Roll
to
20.
put it in front of you if you want. And everyone in chat, but you probably can't read it on chat. In chat, yeah. Kind of see some of them while we're on the stream. So for 2, you can do anything for 1, but you can also do the add a black to the target's next check, or add a blue to an allied.
I want to do that. I want to add a black to the target.
Okay, yeah.
So like maybe I like did a little rupture on his suit or something when I shot him. Like I hit him just
He's
right.
gonna struggle to fire back. Rugo, you are lost and vaguely sort of coming. You got hit, spun, hit the ground. Someone stimmed you. You came to.
Yeah, I'm sort of in that moment right now. I don't know if anyone's ever felt like, or anybody's ever like fainted and like coming back out of it, and you feel like you're in that dream state still, or like you almost faint and it just seems like the last 5 seconds or so was a dream. That sort of is what's happening here. Is like Rugo's starting to get up, and just the last trail of a couple of seconds seems to be like not reality. Though he's slowly starting to realize his footing is starting to get heavier as he's like, oh, this is what's happening. That being said, I think he is going to take the round not doing anything except going to his defensive stance. There were more heroic things I would want to do, which could be sweet, but I think this makes the most sense for him coming out of this. So I'm just going to go into defensive stance, which is bodyguarding myself pretty much.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, I'm going to roll another d4.
It says I take a strain every time I do an action. So me doing that is that a strain for going into stance?
Is it your action to do that?
Going into stance is not an action. It's an incidental.
Sweet.
And you're good. Rugo again. He hates you. Incoming shot, but he does have another black die on this attack.
Good golly. And he does have another.
And what else do I have? Yeah.
And you have another. Oh wait. Wow. This is interesting. I'm going to take a strain from that. I'm going to take 2 strain from that. Now he's going to have 2 difficulty die.
I add 2 more difficulty die?
Yeah. When I go into bodyguard, I'm sorry, defensive stance. I suffer strain, a number of strain to upgrade the difficulty of all incoming attacks. So I'm doing 2. And which also gives me 2. So if I suffer the strain, which is pretty sweet. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, since we're doing this, I'm going to spend a dark side point just to make it an upgrade, just to throw as many dice into this as we can. So 4 difficulty, 2 setback dice, 1 boost because he's aiming, and 1 upgrade to his ability die. So that is 1 blue, probably 2 green, 1 yellow, 2 black, 4 purple die coming in on this shot on Rugo. Wow, a failure and a
Wacky.
triumph and a threat. This is the most confusing one so far.
I love this.
So he fails. So
What
you,
does this
straight
mean?
up, you don't get hit. That's one thing that happens. The other two things here, oh man, it would have been nice if I did get that triumph. Yeah,
Actually, I think triumph counts as a success, doesn't it?
a triumph does count as a success, but the failure would, does it cancel out?
I don't
Oh,
know.
it cancelled out the success from the triumph. If you look at the math there.
Yeah.
So it was a. It's
So
not
nothing
a
happens.
success.
In
Yep.
theory, what does that mean though? Why is it still there?
I don't know. Maybe you still get some weird advantage from it.
That's a triumph.
Why is what
Well,
still
there is
there?
threat.
Well, why would it be there if it was cancelled out?
The
Like, why
triumph
does
is still on
Because
the.
that's how it always is when they cancel each other out. Like when we get a,
No, it
you know,
doesn't.
it just
wouldn't be
shows
there.
the whole roll, right?
No, the failure
No,
and the
it'll
triumph
show-
wouldn't be on the roll. So
If
there's
it's
a triumph.
canceled, it'll blank. Unless
it?
triumphs count as 2, and then one of them was gone, and there's still.
Well,
Triumph is just
If you-
success and a triumph. So
if you look at the math, you got
Oh.
2 successes if you count the triumph, and you got 3 failures. So
Okay.
the success from the triumph has definitely been taken
1,
off.
2, 3.
But for
A
some
success
reason, the
can-
triumph
a
is still.
success generated by a triumph symbol could be cancelled by a failure symbol. Each triumph symbol can be used to trigger incredibly potent effects. Okay, but it's also an advantage. Is that why? 2 common. Okay, I think I can spend it still with the advantage. That's why. But it is definitely still a miss. It doesn't count as
You still
success.
have a
The
threat.
failure and the success of the triumph
I
cancel
love
each
how
other
it's
out.
not math we're looking at. It's
But it could be
information.
a threat
It's so cool.
and a triumph now, I think.
Maybe
God,
it's
that's
math, but-
so weird and
Yeah.
confusing and kind of fun, and I've been so scared of this
Mhm,
system for a long
mhm.
time, and this is why, but also now I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah, exactly.
let me quickly see how I can spend these things. I don't, for some reason, so I
How
have
does this
quick
make sense?
I have quick JPEG references that I
Mhm.
just, instead of, they're like the handouts, but I just pull them up and then I click through them when I need them. But for some reason, every time I open up one of them that's already open, it just doesn't display the image tonight, and I'm loving it. Really,
Oh, it's because you have a JPEG? Is
I
it
just have
because
to
you're
keep
using JPEG?
manually opening up everything every single time. Triumph
Try using a ping.
upgrades the difficulty of
P&E.
targeted character's next check. Upgrade any allied character's next check, including that of the active character. Do something vital, such as shooting the controls to the nearby blast doors to seal them shut. These guys aren't that smart. You know what I'm gonna do? No, can't do that.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is just gonna be. It's gonna make it more difficult. The next person to fire at him is gonna be more difficult, but he does generate a threat as well. Which
You strain.
could be a strain. Yeah, I think it has to be. That's the only thing it can really be. So he
Yeah.
takes 1 strain here, and he looks like he's
He's
on his
probably crouching
last
behind.
legs. He is barely conscious. He's kind of like wobbling to finish
But he
him.
found like some cover. Instead of the threat being him being out of cover, he's taking the strain.
If he was
So-
in cover, he could have. It would have maybe negated that cover, but it doesn't. Though it does upgrade the difficulty of hitting him next time with the triumph. So who's going
Yeah, that's
first
what I'm saying.
at the top of the round for the player characters?
Oh, who
I'm
is
alright
going
with
first? The top of the round.
going first again. Unless someone really wants to go, I'm alright with doing it again.
Go for it.
If I get shot again, this is the top of the round.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me just double check my.
And
My
all 4 of
defenses
you are
things.
going to get to go before him. So
Yeah. Okay, you can go again. Sure.
Okay.
This is-
I
this is round
would like to. So I'm gonna get on up difficulty if I try to shoot him, right?
the next person to attack him, yeah.
We'll get another difficulty.
Well,
okay.
it's not another.
I am going to
Is it
try to
another
shoot him, but I'd
difficulty,
like
or
to.
is it an upgrade?
What's going on, Greg?
I just have a question before you do your turn. Would I, even though he's in medium range, would I still get, I know I got it before, but would I still get the difficulty even if I have a weapon that's meant for medium range?
Yes.
I could.
It's yeah. You might have stuff that boosts you or negate. If you have, do you mean a thing that says remove a
So
black
my range
die?
is medium. No, I mean like just the range on my weapon is medium.
Yeah, no,
That's just how far you
that's-
can shoot.
Yeah, that's just the maximum
Okay,
range.
okay, never mind. All right, that's
You need
what
to be
because
within
if that
medium
wasn't the
range
case,
to
then I
fire
would
it.
have gone next. And yeah,
Right. Yeah. No.
never mind.
I have a question. They are shooting live, like they're not trying to stun us, they're trying to kill us.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably
So
maybe would've
remember
said
when I
that.
was talking before about how I had fear underneath all the calculations I'm doing? That fear has sparked an anger inside of me, and I intentionally flip off the stun setting of my gun. I'm going to use a light side point to upgrade my attack. I'm also going to use a maneuver to aim, which I believe gives me a boost.
Yep. One blow.
And I'm going to try to kill this person who just tried to kill my friend.
Just narratively, maybe what gave you the clue that it was live is like maybe my armor or whatever is like.
Oh yeah,
steaming
there's a
still.
hole in it, and there's like a
the
smoke
paint has been
coming
burned
off
off, and
of
you're
it.
like,
Yeah,
stun doesn't do that. Yeah.
yeah.
Sick.
Okay. So. Alright, here we go.
You got to upgrade one of those. So you got to add a black.
It's a upgrade difficulty, right?
Yeah, I
doesn't
think the
it
word
mean add an
upgrade.
extra difficulty.
I think upgrade is what it is. It means upgrade.
Oh, I added an extra one.
Yeah,
Oops.
so it's 2 difficulty,
need to
but
do
you
it again.
upgrade one. Yeah.
Alright. Fuck.
I'm assuming if they aren't using the terminology upgrade there. Oh, I mean, this is.
Did you say black die or the? Which one's
Can
that?
I narratively
Oh, it
take
becomes
this
a
over?
red die. It upgrades the difficulty
Oh,
to
I see,
to a challenge die, I think is what it is. It doesn't matter. This is sick. This is just the best thing. He's for sure out, by the way. But what happens? And in style, if you would like.
Yes, please. I see my friend go down with a blast, and then he's struggling to get back up and get defensive, and that's all I'm looking at during the rest of the combat. And I turn back and I look at him for a moment, and the anger inside of me, I hate this person in this moment, and I flip the switch to kill, and I take my time. I fire the shot, and it hits him right in the mask, and I think shards of the glass hit his eyes, hit in his mouth, and one of them cuts his throat, and he falls to his knees, choking on his own blood, and dies.
Cool. You have to take 5 conflicts.
Sorry.
I have a secret set of rules that I made up this morning.
Classic.
Perfect.
On
you.
uses of the words fear, anger, and hate in roleplay.
Yes.
And each one being 1, 2, or 3 additional conflicts. You used anger and hate there.
Ooh.
And then Dax does that little
really
look
cool.
to camera that Anakin does where his eyes have gone
Yeah.
Sith.
Brand. Yeah. Red eyes.
Okay, so the combat is over. They actually didn't go for their comms or anything. They don't.
Nice.
And there isn't an immediate, like, crazy response, but it is not going to be long before they recognize that these two militiamen are not responding on comms and stuff like that because they that's how they work, and you would know that because you know how everything works. You're not that outside of stuff. You were Jedi with responsibilities in the Clone Wars. So yeah, next to them is the door that you sliced before.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm gonna stim. I'm gonna go over to Rugo first, and I'm gonna like grab him by the armor and like, are you all right? You okay? Look at me.
Yeah, you let's pause screen again, because I will tell you how to heal your crits. It will be a medicine check, is what I remember, but I will read it.
Well, I don't know if you'll be able to heal a crit right now. He's trying to stim, right?
You can stim him. You stim for the
I was
wounds.
gonna stim.
Absolutely, you can do that. Yes. But I think I figured that you would potentially want to know how to heal that crit, but I guess if not, we can just move on.
I think.
I mean, yes, but I don't know if it would be able to do
it's
it
a
right
medicine
now, I feel
against the difficulty that he has there, but
Yes.
I thought it was a downtime
Just-
thing, but if we could do it now, hell yeah.
I would just stim him and be like, all right, and I'd pat him on the shoulder. All right, let's go. Come on, we got to do this. What would you like?
I think as you sort of stim him and you like look back up and you're like, I think used to seeing him be like, okay, let's do this, but like my eyes are having like a hard time focusing, as like there's like a bit of slow motion, you know, when you're drunk, or you know a drunk, or when someone's drunk around you, like they move faster than their eyes can catch up. And I think that's what's sort of happening, is he like looks up at you and then his eyes finally find focus and he sort of nods, and that's like an indication that the stim's working, but this is really weighing on him. There is a burn, I think somewhere either on his shoulder, maybe by his ribs, and underneath the armor. So there's like a smoking patch. Obviously it smells like maybe like burning plastic or polyester of some sort, but also you do see that there is like a redness and a wound, and this did burn him, and it is really obviously painful. The wound has closed because that's what like the stim pack probably had done, but there's still like probably some bruising, weakness, and a lot of pain underneath the surface. It stopped bleeding essentially, if it did bleed ever, but I mean, like, the surface wounds are gone, but there's still like this body is still reacting and trying to heal itself internally, and I think that's where the strain is probably going to be gathering mechanically. So he's just sort of this weakened, struggling, like an injury, like a drunk off of injury kind of feeling, if that makes sense, or maybe a drunk off adrenaline, something like that. But he's trying to think rationally, but it's really hard for him to. It's more work than he.
Pat you on the armor,
yeah,
and I pat you on the face. I'm like, all right, focus. We're almost there.
Okay.
And I start walking towards the terminal that we've already hacked, sliced once.
Yeah, this critical injury is one of the bad ones.
Yeah, I rolled a 96, I think.
Yeah, there are multiple levels of severity, which is if we think of it as the medicine check you need to make to heal it, being easy, average, hard, or daunting, which is 1, 2, 3, or 4. This one is a 3.
Yeah.
So out of a possible 4, and then 5 being death, I guess, this was a 3. 3 out of 5 badness. Okay, and you struggle and head over towards this door. I'm not even going to make you do a check because you've already sliced this door once this evening, so you just apply the same
here before.
Slice to this door, and it opens up in front of you, revealing inside once again the bays, the cargo tunnel that lead to the varying bays. Depending on which way you go around this horseshoe, depends on where you end up. And how did I do this? The large bays were at the front of the horseshoe, right? and the small bays were here. So this one comes out, the first one that you came out by was S Bay 5, which has the jump master. So that's the closest one to you. In this tunnel, though, there is no resistance. You don't see any militiamen or clones or those security droids. That's not to say they're not in here somewhere, but as you open the door, they're not in front of you.
We were here this evening, right? This is just a couple hours ago.
Couple hours.
Can I remember where each ship was and what it was?
I can also try to do that too, or like assist with this, because I
won't make you do a check. I think you remember the ones that you saw. You saw in S Bay 5 a jump master, which is a 2-seater thing. In S Bay 4, which was the next one south, was the T4A Lambda shuttle, which is probably owned by the Imperials. And that's it. Those were the two that you saw.
No, we saw two others, I think. I remember seeing a freighter of some kind.
You found out that in L Bay 1, there's a HWK 290 light freighter that probably belongs to Bleach, the Rhodian.
Okay. Okay, I will we'll go for that one. What would I know? Like, did I see schematic of it? What would I know about this ship? Would I?
Oh, the ship?
Yeah.
It is a it is one of these. This is what it looks like. HWK 290.
Oh! Very cool.
There's a couple of
for that one.
There's a couple of ships in the in here. And this one.
Just saying, like maybe
I love freighters in any system.
Can crew two and can hold two
look
passengers.
Like a lunchbox, and I want it.
It's a low end kind of
light freighter, right?
Yeah, it's technically worse than a YT 1300, which is what the Millennium Falcon is. But it's around that level of ship.
Okay. Are there? Do I know exactly where that is in the horseshoe?
It is. Yes, it is. On the. It's right at so the large bays. There are 4 large bays and 6 small bays. The 6 small bays are at the rear of this horseshoe going around, and then at the front are the 4 large bays. Each one is a big dome terminal bay. So you'd have to make it pretty much to the. You got to make it to the. It's on the opposite side of where you are.
The other side. Okay. So I'm gonna say I will suggest to everyone. I'll say, all right, let's go round the side that we haven't been on before. So avoiding the Imperial shuttle. We'll check the bays on the way, but I know that Bleach's ship is on the opposite side. So if we don't see anything better on the way, we'll take his ship. And then I start moving. Does everyone follow?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to check the Umbara corpses. And I want to see if they have any like grenades or anything on them. Any explosives.
Oh yeah, what do they have on them? Let me quickly open that again. Grenades. They have something. Hold on, sorry. This is not usually how I GM, by the way. I'm normally like hyper. There's only a few limited things that you can find and run into, and I randomize. This is everything. Randomize within what makes sense. On them, you find each one has a utility belt and an extra reload. Those are actual items.
Oh, okay. Can I grab those 2 extra reloads? Unless anyone else wants them.
Absolutely.
Actually, I'm going to take them.
You can grab them.
No one else
I think
looting the corpse.
Yeah.
I don't think we know to do that
Understandable to
really yet.
reload
You know,
those.
Yeah.
except for maybe Dax might know to like loot and grab things, but I
I'm
certainly
thinking
don't.
about that right now.
Yeah, I'm
wanting to
not
get
thinking about
the
it
hell
either.
off of here.
Okay, I'm gonna need a bunch of stealth checks again, and we are gonna roll that at a difficulty of 2. And how many dark side points do I have? 4. That means all of you can upgrade the difficulty.
Okay.
Is that a red? Is that one red?
So
And
it
one
will be
purple?
one.
Just
Yes,
hit the
each one will
upgrade.
have a challenge die. So one of the 2 difficulty dice
Oh,
becomes a red
I
one.
do that.
The sheet does it automatically. So on the sheet,
I do. I click 2 purple triangles and click the one on the upgrade thing underneath, and then
That's
it does
right.
automatically.
Yes.
Sick.
Okay.
This is
perfect.
stealth.
Oh, I did that wrong. Oh, there it does. Oh, I did it wrong.
We should each wait. We should wait so that people can,
Oh.
if there's an advantage, we can roll one at a
okay.
time.
Okay, bullshit.
Just my real roll.
Yeah, like exactly. See, Dax has 3 advantages that can give somebody
Is
a
that
bonus.
enough to give someone a bonus? 3 advantages?
3 advantages on this kind of check is yeah, you can give an advantage. I think the thing we said way back when we were learning, you know, you justify why you're able to give the next person to
Yeah,
roll
I think
a blue boost.
they just see how I'm moving and that I'm not stopping and telling them to stop, so they kind of know that it's clear already, and
Am I
it
the
makes
only
it-
one that hasn't
makes
rolled?
it less. Yeah, it's just you
Okay.
that gets the boost.
All right, so okay. What do we got?
I got a bad roll, right? That is the only one
Yeah.
good.
You
Right,
got a couple
Hop
bad ones.
has a despair and 1, 2,
Well,
3,
I
4,
can-
5
I have special-
advantages.
I have special bullshit for that.
Rugo got a failure and a despair and 3 advantages. Dax with 1 success, 3 advantages, and Nuada with 1 advantage. All right, you first of all, yeah, what do you have? You have something?
I have a thing called Natural Rogue, which allows me to reroll Skullduggery or Stealth check
Okay, yeah,
once
go for
per
it.
session. So I'm going to do
Sick.
that. And now watch it be worse.
I don't know if you can get worse than a despair. 1 success, perfect.
Right.
So really, Rugo, again with the horrific failure on this.
Well, that's his critical condition adds difficulty, right? Or no?
You take a
Yeah,
strain for every action
Right.
which this counts as. So add a strain,
Mm.
and roll me a D2. I'm gonna make this a 50-50 shot. Two, great. Okay, so 1 was that you literally run into a bunch of enemies. 2 was that you trip a sensor of some sort that activates a camera, and we once again see those clones that are in the camera
Oh,
room
sick.
that's controlling each of these things, and one of the small cameras kind of turns as Rugo kind of is dragging his feet along,
I'm trying
and
to still push the.
yeah, this thing kind of just activates, and we see you guys appearing on the screen in front of the
Why am I the only one on a payload?
you guys are not aware of it, but we silently see the clones suddenly jump onto comms and begin communicating. However, you did get a lot of advantages in here, so I'm going to say that you made it round really quickly regardless. As you maneuver
really
around the back way here, you get to S-Bay 6, there's nothing in it. You come all the way around to the other side now, which brings you to... You're actually going to see like a lot of ships because you're on the opposite side, so this would be S-Bay 3, 2, and 1. Okay. In S-Bay 3... there is a UT-60D U-Wing troop transport. This is probably the thing that the clones are in. I'll see if I have images for all of these. I'm not sure if I do. I do. I'm so fucking good, man. Sometimes...
Look how good you are.
Sometimes I'm so prepared, and I just thank my previous self. It's
Look
one
at
of
you.
those. This is
That's
what you're
sick.
looking at.
Thanks, Past Brad.
Thanks, Brad. He's on it. At some point, I was bang on it. Let me see what this thing is in terms of whether you have whether it fits your.
I mean,
Okay, this thing is a troop transport, so you can probably almost all fit on it. Crew 4. Passengers 8. Crew means you need 4 people kind of to operate it.
to do it.
The crewing and ships and stuff we will learn when we need to appropriately, but this would take all 4 of you, probably all hands. But crew is also things like guns and shit, so really you just need 1 pilot. And sensor's short, and I'm pretty sure it has a hyperdrive. What page is that?
I would assume that this. doesn't
Here's
have
what we'll do.
very-
We'll
very
do a would you like to know more every time you get to a bay with a thing in. I'll tell you the
Yeah.
crewing amount so that you know whether it's viable for how many of you
So
there
would
are.
you like to know more? Check.
And then there's a button that comes up on your video game HUD.
Well, this is clearly a Imperial
X to know
vehicle.
more.
For
right?
sure,
It's
this is
risky.
probably what the clones are using to transport the troops back and forth. This was probably
Pros
brought
and
in.
cons.
We would I would recognize it as a clone transport and
Right.
be so I
Oh,
us,
actually,
we can't use
no.
them.
I don't know if you
Was
would.
it new?
Yes, this is
Because it wasn't around. before.
this is a
Yeah.
prototype. Actually,
Sick.
this is actually a prototype UT-60.
Yeah, it says it right there. Look at that.
So
I would want to know more than.
let's have
Man, I will never get tired of just like your little joy at when the Roll20 has something, or whatever.
Right there.
let's have Hop
It says it right there.
and Dax roll. I wonder what ships is. Probably just education.
Warfare.
Education or warfare. And the
What's the
difficulty
difficulty?
will be on this is probably going to be quite high, a 3, I think.
Could I argue that I could roll 2, maybe potentially? Is it something that I may have overheard or have seen on a data pad from work? Probably not.
I don't really know why.
I don't think so.
You can give Dax a boost.
Sure.
Oh, I can try again. Okay.
I just don't know if it's something I would have run into.
You still got an upgrade on that
close.
difficulty, so you can roll again. Hop, just take the upgrade off.
Oops. Oh, weird. Oh, I didn't click on it out. That's why. Sorry. Would I roll education? Education.
2 failures, 2 threats. So threats are irrelevant. 2 failures. Dax, you've heard that the clones use different troop transports now from the ones that they used in the Clone Wars. From the looks of the way this thing is probably like painted, and it's probably got like the fucking cog on the side of it or something. It looks like it's an Imperial troop transport. It's possibly the thing that's bringing the clones in. Beyond that, you have no further information. You would definitely
I would.
all fit on the
Right.
ship, but that's it.
I would say out loud, like, damn, this looks like a good ship, but I'm pretty sure that's an Imperial ship. So I think we should move on.
Easy to track, yeah,
So
but
you-
also easy to blend in visually. Someone sees us coming.
Yeah, but do you have the codes to get everywhere? I don't.
No, I don't. I think you're right. Just move.
Let's see what's behind door number 2, unless Rugo or Nuada object.
Yeah, no, you keep
I
moving.
do not object.
Since you roll really well, you're still able. You've got time to stop and look at this next one as well. S-Bay 2. On there is a thing called a moon bus, a Sheathipede class shuttle. That.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's what this is. A moon.
I'm looking
bus.
this up.
This is. There it is. I got it. It looks like that.
Oh my god! It looks like an orca!
And this is.
I know we want the freighter, but my god, look at it. It's so cute. It's got little fins.
I like this
ugly.
too.
It's the ugliest ship I've ever
It's
seen.
so ugly.
Extremely ugly. It's wonderful.
Kind of looks like a turtle.
Looks like a snail orca. Snorka.
Did you just say the turtle orca ship is ugly?
Dad,
Yeah, that's what makes it cute.
you've been seeing the other sleek ships we've been looking at?
Yeah,
That
these
doesn't,
sleek,
you know,
ugly ships.
You don't have to put one down
This
to
is
admire the other.
a
You
Nemoidian
can
shuttle.
enjoy them all.
Nemoidians are the. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them,
Sorry.
guys. From the Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah.
This seats. That's the information you need.
That's the Trade Federation people?
Yeah. They're all traders.
Okay.
Cruise 4, passenger 8. Would you like to know more?
Yeah, I'd like.
Yes.
Do I
Sorry.
know if it's fast? Does it have a drive?
Yeah, anyone
hyperdrive.
can roll me an
I
education.
assumed he would just be
I
like,
really
no,
like
it's
it.
a fucking orca bus. I don't want it.
Education 2 difficulty. Anyone who wants to know more or
Me.
might think that character might know more.
If it's a shuttle bus, I might know. So I'm going to just say yes.
Right.
You said it's education, right?
Education difficulty 2. Pop, you still got an upgrade on there. Take that.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh,
the red,
yeah.
The red thing is.
I don't see it on. Oh, whatever.
It's the upgrade underneath the difficulty on the right hand side at the top of the sheet. Hang on, I can open your sheet. Might be freaking out because I've had it happen before. Yeah, so it's. Shall I print screen it?
Yeah. Please teach me.
Well, almost posted that in the wrong room. Would have been really weird for everyone. This bit at the top right of your sheet, the upgrade. Set that to 0.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Do we have any successes in here? Oh, okay, we do. All right. So.
Let me do one more education. No.
This song is super badass, by the way.
I like it.
Like
too.
unreal the whole time.
No. Okay. So Nuada, you are for some reason aware of what this.
Because it looks
thing-
like a turtle.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
no.
just- It's
Every
actually
character I
it's
play
actually
in
roughly.
anything ever loves turtles. I'm sorry.
Well,
Mhm.
I hate to break your spirit, but it's shaped like a Nemoidian soldier beetle, the Sheathipede.
Oh. Which happens
Also
to look like a turtle.
Which happens to just look like a turtle.
What is a beetle but turtle of the bugs?
Yeah. Speed 3, handling 1, hull threshold 25, pretty good. And I know you don't know what any of this means yet. Don't worry about it. Armor of 4, pretty decent. That's all okay. It has a Navi computer, which makes that astrogation check that you're worried about a lot easier. It has a primary class 1 hyperdrive on it, which means I'm pretty sure
Repeating all of this to
yeah,
you guys right now. So you all know.
1 is the best, and then the the bigger the number, the worse it is. It has a backup class 10 hyperdrive on it as well.
10.
The ship's complement: 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot, 1 comms operator, and 1 engineer. The encumbrance capacity is 150, and we'll deal with that one day. Passenger capacity 8. Consumables: it can hold up to 2 months. You can live on it for 2 months.
Oh god, that's so good.
The
Okay.
price is
I
about
really like it.
120,000 credits if you were to sell, and it has 2 customizable hard points. However, it has no weapons.
Okay.
Still
Brad,
really
quick
like it.
question. Could we potentially add in, just for those, if we would know, actually, I don't, whatever. If we would know, could you give us an idea of, like, the frequency of use of the ship, so that we could maybe go undetected. You know, like if we're stealing really fast.
This is a Nemoidian shuttle, which means it probably belongs to a trader on the planet somewhere. This is a trader trade ship. They're all merchants, Nemoidians. That's why they're the Trade Federation guys.
So this is fairly frequently used and would be easier to go undetected than if we stole like a racing ship, right?
Right. However, during the Clone Wars, they were used. An armed version was used to ferry high-ranking officers and officials such as Count Dooku or extremely valuable material through hostile territory, but this one is not one of those ones because it has no weapons on it.
It
or
has
maybe it
two
was
hard
at one
points,
point.
but there are no weapons on it right now,
Correct.
so we can put weapons on it if we want.
Yes.
Almost
all ships have how many hard points you can add to them type thing.
Sweet.
So you can upgrade them and shit like that.
Out of character, this thing has my vote.
This is. Would you like to compare it to the one that you know is in Bay 1 further along?
Mm-hmm.
Which is that light freighter that we know Bleach's ship, and now we're looking at this one.
Bleach's
ship.
ship.
HUDs that show us.
I mean, what you're
ships.
essentially doing here is like thieves shopping for the ship that you're probably going to be with for the whole campaign. So I don't mind taking our time here. Everyone make me the same roll.
For a
the
moment
education.
and holding X and looking and
Difficulty
scrolling through the options.
Yeah. But also, like, for you guys, this is the same as us in real life, seeing a Nissan Micra drive by and kind of knowing what the difference between a Nissan Micra and fucking Audi is, you know? Like, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of the difference.
And when you say a Nissan, I assume you mean a Nissan.
Same difficulty, 1?
I didn't know what you're talking about for a second.
It's two difficulty.
Okay.
The graphics card?
Same.
Are we going to go in order? Have you guys already rolled?
I rolled. Could I argue Underworld for any of these rolls?
Okay.
Yes, if the ship makes sense. Let me see if it makes sense for this one in particular.
Wait. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but this has happened a couple times. Whoever hasn't rolled yet, I have an extra success from last time, so you get a bonus die.
Okay.
If
I'm
we
not
don't
rolling,
slow
or else I
our
will take strain.
if we don't slow our rolls, we're gonna. Oh well, then never mind. Then nobody gets it. I can. Can I use it? I'll just use it because I didn't roll last yet. Okay.
Is education? Maybe I can roll it with ebb and flow, and then get a flow, and then not take strain.
Failure anyway. 2 advantages. Okay.
All right. Did anyone get successes?
We only have 2 rolls.
No, we have all 3.
No
I
successes.
just rolled one. Sorry.
Oh.
No successes.
No successes. Okay, then you have only the information that I gave you before, in that you know that all of you would hold all of you, unlike the jump master, which would not.
Right. I would say that this has potential, but I want to check the other bays really fast if we can. I think this is a big decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure?
I don't know. Actually, I feel like
The further around this horseshoe you get, the harder, the more likely that there is of you running into danger. I'm giving you that meta because the pressure would be on you and you would be aware of it.
Yeah, I
somewhat
think
in
so
character.
too. And I don't think we would be in shopping
Here's
mode.
also
And I
some
don't
pressure.
think we'd be thinking like this is the rest of the campaign. I think we'd be thinking, let's get the fuck out of here. What can get us out of here? We can always sell it or something like that.
I'd be worried about no weapons.
Helps you decide. Every ship we've moved past, I've taken a strain.
Yeah, then yeah.
You don't have to
Taking a
make the
strain.
check, by the way.
I know, but every time I do an action, so every time
he's
we're like,
taking
all right,
a
let's move on. I'm
strain
like,
every
okay,
time.
so I'm
So,
taking
like,
a strain.
He's like, I imagine like grunting and stuff while we're trying to walk with him through. So I think
And you're like, let's move on. I'm like, all right.
No, yeah.
And mostly the skiff is like leading me more than me walking it.
Yeah. Maybe one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't have time.
How many more bays are in between this one and the one where Bleach's
Bay.
ship is?
1, 2,
HWK.
3.
Okay. Let's check the next
Meta-wise,
one.
you have 4 more tries before you need to throw me on the skiff and roll, and run back to one of your favorites.
Wobbling behind
Or
you.
you just stay here
Or just stay here, yeah.
and Dax can go check, but that means we can't roll to help assist
That's also true.
in knowledge.
And we're splitting the party.
Oh, do we
which is
want to do
fine
that? Do we
with
want to send me? Do you want to send the little scouty boy ahead?
If you think you can not take a long time to do it, then sure. But we're in a bit of a bind right now. We need to get out of here. Rugo's not doing
I
well.
will. I'll say, yeah, wait here with Rugo. I'll be right back, and I'll move forward.
I think
Where's
this
he
one
going?
that we
Where's he
just
going?
looked at is pretty good. There's no weapons on it,
going?
which is a little scary, but that
Okay.
might actually benefit us. They
Um,
might assume that it couldn't possibly be us if there's no weapons on it.
Where are you going, Dax?
He's gonna go
Dax
check.
gone.
Yeah.
Thanks. I left.
All right.
He's gonna go check the other base real quick.
Since we're doing it
And-
this way, roll me a stealth check with 3 difficulty.
Alright, I would like to use a light side die to upgrade my roll.
Absolutely. Easy. In fact, based on that roll, I'm going to say there's nothing ahead of you. Doesn't seem like they're moving through these cargo tunnels or coming this way, at least from what you can tell between Espe 2 and Espe 1. In Espe 1, you find a scout ship called a Pathfinder. This thing, you can make me that education check. It looks like, well, I am prepared. This. It's
Now, based on that, I would already say no, it's too small for us.
yeah, I don't think it's small. I think these scout ships are things that go to the outer regions.
Oh, alright.
Like
More
they're
of
the
a long
things.
hallway than probably inside.
Yeah.
I actually get 2 successes on this. So
2 successes.
what do I know?
Okay. I will tell you. Let me just find it in the book.
Oh, I had that upgraded. I'm sorry. Because I.
Reroll, baby.
Got a reroll?
We just need a soundbite of Cord saying that.
Love it so much.
hmm
It's exact same. Exact same
It's the
roll.
same. Okay, this is crew 2, passenger 2. The sensors on this are extreme. The sensors on the other one, which I think I didn't give you, are short. This thing has, it's bigger. Armor of 4. Hull threshold 25, system strain 15. I think that was the same. Hyperdrive class 1 has a Navi computer. 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot, 1 navigator, 1 gunner, 1 comms operator, 1 engineer. Is the complement of the ships, or the ship's complement. Encumbrance capacity 200, can possibly carry 20 people. Consumables can last you 2 months on this thing. It's usually worth a little bit more. Customizable hardpoints 2, and it has weapons on it. 2 forward-mounted twin light blaster cannons, and an aft-mounted twin light blaster cannon as well.
So this is
it has
a
shields.
large ship.
Speed of
It's very
3, handling not as
shields.
good. Yeah, let me see what if the Shithapede does as well. I think it's annoying because they're in the same book, so I have to keep scrolling up and down to them. I think. Oh no, it wasn't. I will do my best to tell you which one is best if you want. Just give me a sec,
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
because I don't know. I just understand the rules a little better, so I think I can help. I was in that book. I'm not even kidding when I
It
tell you I have
seems
1,
a
2,
little-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PDFs open. Yep, the other one had shields of 1. Zero FA speed. The bug handles a little better. It has 4 armor. What was the other thing's armor?
It's 4 armor for this
4
one as well.
And yeah, I mean, for what you want right now, the Pathfinder is probably a bit better.
It has the good sensors, so we'd be able to see things.
It has better sensors and it has weapons on it.
Right. Okay.
I think everything else is about the same.
Fine.
The Pathfinder's worth more. You know,
Would my
a little better.
pretty good stealth check get me to check one more bay before I turn around?
Yeah. You know what? I'll say yeah, because you got 4 successes, right?
I think I got 3.
3.
Our success, boy.
I'll say yeah, since this is where we're at.
I'm taking another strike.
Actually, this is pretty much going to give you. By the time you see this one, you're going to know all the ships. So, unless you want to go all the way around to look at the other L bays on the other side. In L Bay 2, you know that in L Bay 1 there's probably a HWK-29E as long as it hasn't left within the last couple of hours. In L Bay 2 there is a G9 rigger light freighter, and that looks like one of these that you might recognize.
I love that we're all nerding out over the fucking ships. It's so good.
And how does that thing land? Probably folds.
Everyone immediately reinstalling Star Citizen.
An antique at the outset of the Clone Wars, but it is pretty recognizable for people that have seen the Clone Wars, I think. Give me the check if you want.
Yeah.
Fails. You don't know anything, but I do. You get, even on a fail, two crew, 6 passengers in general.
Okay, I'm gonna run back to them.
Also, you can see weapons on this, so I'll give you weapons
It
as
has
well.
weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. I really want to know what that has. Okay.
I mean, I guess you could run. To be fair, you could run back and everyone could make checks.
Describe it. I've taken a picture of it.
Well,
on my cell phone.
It would be like
on
me
my
saying
Motorola Razr cell phone. Taking a picture.
Right. Yeah. But I guess it's just like coming back and being like, "Hey, have you ever heard of a Peugeot 106?"
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
G9 light freight. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back and that's the first thing I say. Have any of you ever heard of the light freighter? It's a G9.
All right. When he wants to give me the rolls.
What?
Education.
Rugo, who doesn't know what's
difficulty 2 still.
Difficulty 2. Actually, you could do warfare for this one if you wanted. I'm sorry, you probably would have done that.
Rugo's
It's
currently
the same for
orcish
me.
when he's not fed.
happening. So right now.
Hey, Hop's heard of it.
Yes. Hop knows what this is. The G9.
Oh, I see what you mean. This is what it looks like when it cancels itself out.
Yes.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you so much.
That's what the dice are always doing. Successes and
Yep.
failures are cancelling each other out, and whatever
Mhm.
is
So
left
it
over
shows
is
up.
your dice pool.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Carillion Engineering Corporation's G9 Rigger Class Light Freighter. A
Holy shit,
rare
Hop
sight
knows this
in
fucking shit.
modern space lane. Small and unremarkable and blocky. They are designed as utilitarian short to medium range haulers. This one in front of you is they're not worth a lot of money. Sensors are medium, and then I'll give you the other stats. Let's see. Hull threshold 25. Armor 2. System strain threshold 15. So, by the way, hull threshold is the same as wounds. System strain, same as your strain. Except it's just all on a bigger scale. Kind of same with the guns as well, but whatever. Armor 2 has rear and aft shields. Is a silhouette 4, so it's pretty big. Speed 2, slow. Handling -2, not great. Hyperdrive class 3, not good. Doesn't have a backup. Navi computer, yes. Sensor range, medium. 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot. Consumables will last you. You can live on it for a month. 4 customizable hard points. Weapons, auto blasters on the dorsal. Outrigger turret mounted light blaster cannon and a ventral wing mounted light blaster cannon. So it's got a lot of weapons, but it's kind of slow and it is a piece of junk beyond that.
So I explained to them the differences between the 3 ships, and I say I think the scout ship is the best for us because of the sensors, and it also has weapons. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as the bug ship.
Okay.
All right.
So it's the next bay over, unless someone really wants a ship with a lot of guns on it.
No, I'm already moving us towards that ship the moment
Okay, let's
you
go.
say
Go.
that's
Let's
the
go.
one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Okay. Now, let's have Rugo roll me a D10.
Am I gonna take a strain for this, you bastard?
No.
10.
This is a 10. Okay. You just have become so lucky. You don't run into anyone, but they are on their way. I guess they lost you. Did we probably just jump back to where you guys tripped the sensor and there's like 2 clones like scratching their heads and they just can't figure out
The
you would
sensor
have
was
gone
here.
one of
They
2
must have
ways.
either gone this way or this way.
But they're on your tail, but they aren't.
I must be hearing things.
This
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
yeah.
Oh well.
It's
Must have been the
the
wind.
way I've been running it, and I rolled a couple dice myself, and I wanted you to do the last one, was whether they were coming from one way or the other. So they're behind you and they're chasing you around this horseshoe right now is what's essentially happening when the camera pans
What's that noise?
away to somewhere else, and we see these clones kind of moving towards you. And you move into the bay that contains the Pathfinder scout ship. This thing is pretty big. The silhouette is a 4, so that is pretty large. I think a Millennium Falcon it maybe is a 3. You know what? Let's find out. Let's find out now.
It's pretty bad.
So that we know. Millennium Falcon is a 1300, I think. Am I right, chat? Someone knows. It's in this.
With a YT 1300.
YT 1300, is that the Millennium Falcon?
I can't believe it.
There's a couple of those YTs and they look different. And I actually rolled a bunch of different dice to populate these bays, and I was really hoping that the other Millennium Falcon thing was in.
1300, yeah.
It is. Okay, so the size of that is. Is that it? No. That thing looks like the Starship Enterprise. What the fuck? There's one of those.
How do you know what that is? I'm just kidding.
Final Frontier.
Yeah. This is a Silhouette 4 as well. So it's about the same size, but it's very long and thin. When released during the final years of the Old Republic, Vanguard Industries' Pathfinder-class scout ship was considered on the bleeding edge of Starship technology. A long, narrow vessel with a sharply pointed bow, steeply raked, aft-mounted stabilizers, and a plan form like an arrow. The Pathfinder was designed as a long-range scout and courier vessel. The Pathfinder class reputation as a high-tech ship comes from both its advanced sensor suite and the fact it was one of the first mass-produced vessels of its size to feature hyperspace capabilities. Essentially, oversized starfighters. That's what it is. Wow. Pathfinder scout ships carry 2 sentient seated abreast in a small, cramped but well laid out cockpit. Directly abaft the cockpit is a small area with a refresher, a bunk, and a small storage area for ships, provisions, and emergency supplies. Everything abaft the cockpit and the rest area is packed with sophisticated long-range sensors, shield generators, and the powerful twin-drive engines, which I assume is what makes it fast. Lightly armed and armored, Pathfinders have defensive armament comprising a single turret-mounted light laser cannon atop the hull, just abaft of the cockpit. The shield generators are unique to the ship class, and the armor is typical for a light scout vessel. At the time of their introduction, Pathfinders were considered among the fastest scout vessels on the market, among other accolades. Their speed, handling, and powerful sensor suite, while relatively commonplace today, help maintain these tiny ships' popularity and drive their sales all these decades after their release. You have chosen to purchase the Pathfinder scout ship. So again, just for everybody, that is this one. Looks like a stretchy boy, and we're going to say yours looks exactly like that, like the Star Fox colors. Who's going to try and break in, and how are you going to do that? As you guys, and this is the shot of you all scurrying across a starport bay and rushing up to the wherever. We'll figure out another day entrance to this thing. There'll probably be a thing that comes down, right?
I am on Rugo duty, so and plus I assume that the other two are probably better at this than I am. So
yeah,
I'm picturing it has a minivan door, and that's how we all get in.
It has a bay door, like a big cab.
Get in, bitch! We're going shopping.
How am I gonna do this? It's docked, so I would assume that maybe
I'm looking at the interior right now.
there's like maybe a ramp or something, like how you get into it,
Yeah,
right? So
but you need to break in. It's a locked thing.
that's up and locked.
Yes. You got
Does it have landing things, or is it on its own? Does it have its own landing feet, or is it a landing?
Oh
gear,
yeah,
or is
it's
it like
landing
up on a
gears
rack or something?
that I can like
Let's see if
climb up
there's
into.
any other images online.
Yeah, do we know anything else
Pathfinder
about this thing?
Scout ship, Star Wars. Let's do a quick Google.
Looking at the interiors.
And you guys will just have to
as well.
Google it. Just do a
I'm doing that,
Google
yeah.
image.
Oh, that's Star Trek.
I mean, it's
Real quick.
crazy looking. It looks like a bottle opener
So
from
cool.
the top.
Brad, may I do a 4C to see, like, and if I succeed, can I give that as a bonus to this next roll? I forget how we do that. I'm so sorry. Can I use that to give somebody an advantage?
Yeah, you just got to give me the
Okay.
give me the roll, right? You got to succeed.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure that that was still a thing. That was even a thing that we could do. Okay, cool.
I
will
can't
do
tell
that
from
real
a quick image search, so I'm gonna say you tell me what the landing gear looks like on this thing. I mean, yeah, what does it look like?
I think it just looks like the landing gear of maybe what will eventually be an X-wing, just like larger in size, and that's kind of like holding it up, right? So I think Hop would go over to it and see if there's a way that he could like climb up in there and break in that way.
So I rolled dark side,
rolled
but I
dark
used
side, yeah.
I used a point to flip it, so you can have a bonus.
Yeah, you roll first, and then we'll see what Nuada retroactively saw as she has a "That's So Raven" moment. And she sees what you're about to do. So you roll your how are you breaking in? I mean, the thing is, that's why I'm not giving you a roll, because I don't know what you're doing. Are you like, because you could be just like using a welder to break in, you could be slicing it. What are you doing so that I know what type of roll it is? This is going to be like a mechanics or a slicing computers roll, or are you just going to shoot the thing and, you know, like...
My original plan was to see if there's any like, if I could crawl through until I hit a hard surface, if I even do at all, or if it's like the Millennium Falcon where there's like, just like a not like a venting system, for lack of a better term, that I can crawl through, and then eventually I move a grate.
Okay, that's a skullduggery check.
Okay.
And that will be 2 difficulty, and you have a boost. Booster, Greg.
Perfect. This is why Brad asked me to be in the campaign, solely for that
Yeah, I
reason.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah, every time someone says boost, I go, huh? Just make sure I'm paying attention.
Booster Greg.
3 successes.
Yeah, you tell me what happens.
So
You're in.
Hop crawls his way through, and it's really dark, and he's just kind of feeling around until a metal texture just feels different, and whatever it does, he pushes on it and sees if it budges. And the first couple times it doesn't really, and then he kind of like almost he actually does bump his head because it's at this point pitch black, and he feels up, and he feels like almost like a grate, and he pushes that, and it just kind of opens right up, and he's in.
Yeah, you get into this thing, and you can open the door from the inside. Everyone piles onto this thing, I assume.
Right.
And
Wait,
then
hold on. Do I?
And then Hop actually does it, because Nuada saw it happening and was like, oh, you could probably fit through there, right? Like, I'm assuming that's every time you have one of these and we do it this way, we go back and Nuada goes, oh, there's a thing that you could probably fit through. And then
she doesn't tell Hop about how he's going to hit his head.
Right. Yeah.
Can I actually tell him not to hit his head?
Oh, also.
Can I actually, instead of pointing it out, can I just say, watch your head?
Right, yeah.
And then
Hop
it does.
yes.
And you still hit your head, and then you're like, what the fuck? Yeah,
and
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
do you know what? This is a great time to tell you, Nuada, to give me
I love you too. Sorry.
So there's technically an ability you need, but I'm going to let you just roll a force die.
Okay.
2 white dies. There is no force sensitivity to Hop or anything like that. He's not like.
Don't look so disappointed.
You don't.
I disbelieve this.
Yeah, I don't believe
I feel like this is gonna be the whole
sorry.
campaign.
It is my dream for you to be my new Jedi Master.
Hey, what did you roll?
I'm kidding.
Well, if you rolled a d20.
I have sorry, that was just for my own personal thing. Sorry.
Right. Well, you can do that on your own time. Okay.
Okay, I apologize.
Jeez.
So yeah, everyone piles into this this ship.
Just make a separate boom system.
Now there's a bunch of things that we will get to, but who is piloting and who is co-piloting and who is getting on the weapons? Yeah.
I guess since this asshole has not told us anything about him, I don't have any
Wow.
idea what he can do. So
Hey,
I'm gonna get on the pilot.
That's handsome
and just
asshole
start
to you,
going.
kid.
I guess the two of you go bundling towards the cockpit, and
We stop and look at each other
yeah,
for a moment, maybe.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
and who's
It's
taking
the
You can pilot
Spider-Man
us?
meme.
yeah, who's taking the co-pilot seat and who's taking the main, whatever it's called, the pilot
I go
seat?
for the pilot seat.
I like the fact that like it
Contesting
starts up
that?
and it's like, which
Okay.
one is
I
the
mean,
co-pilot?
he did tell
Which
us
seat?
he
And they
could
both,
pilot, by the way.
I am. Bloop, I
Just
am. Bloop,
reminding
I am.
us.
I don't. Was I there for that? I'm not sure.
He did tell us last time Nuada confronted him about it in the very beginning. He was like, I can pilot, but, not mega well or something
I
like
think he
that.
also did mention that he had a ship.
Yeah.
Um,
And
Alright.
then he said, like, I can't do the astrogation, but I can pilot.
Yes.
But if you're going for the chair, Hop is not gonna like swoop in or anything. If you're in that chair, then he's taking the other chair.
okay,
If you like
So I'm
beelining it.
pilot, he's co-pilot.
yeah. The droid is presumably you're going to just start working on that droid immediately or not.
Yes.
If you get this droid working within the amount of time it takes for you guys to
6 rounds
leave the planet and get, because you can't hit hyperspace while you're in like gravitational orbit of the planet. You've got to get it into space and then you can activate the hyperdrive. You need to plug in and you basically have to do an astrogation check in the Navi computer, and that's going to allow you to go to hyperspace to get to where you want to go. The check will be significantly easier if the droid is functioning.
Of course.
But that's now what you're about to do. Rugo, you could potentially here start working on the droid to try and get it ready between now and when you're in, space.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. But he's not going to go far. I mean, there's however we got in, if it's through the vent or whatever, and we all crawled through, there's still
no, the door's open.
Oh, the door's open. Okay,
Yeah.
So walk through. I'm going to, whether the skiff is made it on or I've just sort of dumped everything and just it all rolled onto the deck floor, I'm also going to crawl over to it and then begin working on it.
Like your legs are splayed around it while you're pulling things open and starting to...
Exactly.
And like whoever has all the stuff has dumped it near you, which was 5 items, but you only need 4 to get it functioning because the other one is a scoundrel chip or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Technically, you don't even need the vocabulator in it, but it's going to be really hard to tell it what to do.
I mean, I speak binary.
Yeah, well, that's what it uses to speak binary, to understand binary as well.
Okay.
Which means, Nuada, do you go running to the weapon? You going to get on the gun on this thing?
No, not unless they tell me to. I'm still on Rugo duty.
Okay.
I'm really concerned about him.
Yep, I just want to know where everyone is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now in Star Wars, for some reason, once you're on the ship, that's all you need to do. It just runs. There's no keys in the ignition situation. I assume you just boot this thing up and get going.
Yeah, we're leaving as fast as we can.
Okay, first...
Is there a bay door open? Is it open air?
I'm gonna guess that you hit a button and close it.
Okay.
And you guys sit
I'm
down.
saying like for us to just like leave. Is there like a skylight?
You guys
that
are doing
opens?
the
It's
thing
already
that
open?
people do when they in Star Wars. They go running in and press a bunch of buttons and open a bunch of doors and sit in, and then you two sit in the cockpit and start doing button pressing, and things start machines start whirring and things start activating all around you. Lights start flashing in this cockpit, and the two of you in the pilot seats will be the ones doing potential checks, but really it falls to Dax to make me the first piloting planetary check here, and this is a difficulty of, you know what, I think there might be a rule for this, but I'm just gonna say difficulty 2.
All right. Unless you said planetary, right?
Planetary. This is a planetary ship. Okay. 3 successes and you generate 3 threats. I think the threats are obvious. The bay doors to the open up to the thing. There is just a bunch of clones and militiamen come rushing in and just start firing at the side of this thing as it sets up. The ship kind of lifts up. The dome above you, the bay opens up, and this thing takes off.
Sorry.
That's where we end today's session.
Can you do that one more time, Brad?